Nirupana 27, Sunday, April 30th, 1978. Sin can turn into virtue, and a virtuous act can become sinful. One may feed 1,000 Brahmins to acquire merit. The food may get poisoned accidentally, hurting these people. This is the way of destiny. All names have a duration. What is fancied will be effaced. Then what remains? The experience of God, consciousness, is there so long as there is life. However, I am timeless, yet my true state has to be described in relation to something. The unmanifest got manifested with the feeling I am. In the prison of this concept, 81 years have gone by. There is no such thing as my realizing God or God knowing me. It is only hearsay. God is only a concept. All concepts are bound by time. My everlasting state is desireless and beyond thought. The concept, I am, came unexpectedly, and along came the world. A king dreams for 5 minutes, wherein he goes about as a beggar for 100 years. When he wakes up, he is the king, as usual. The dream, I am, is momentary. In this dream, many worship me, many kick me also. That does not affect me. I am perfect, always. It is an accident that you suddenly came to know that you are. I tell people to do something so that they have some purpose to live for. When a man dies, it means his body has fallen. Prana has left. The one who died, was he other than prana? When prana merges into the universal prana, it forgets itself. Without prana, there is no beingness. People have all kinds of suggestions regarding what to do. They are like a hollow bamboo. Who decides what honest behavior is? It is all a great fraud. It is the primordial illusion, Maya. Yet one would say, speak the truth, do this, do not do that, etc. It is because of this great fraud that you feel you are, and identify as men and women. Your consciousness is of the nature of space. The knowingness that has come over you unknowingly is your consciousness. What do you witness first? It is the consciousness that you are. And after that you witness the world. The form of a human being is the form of Brahman incarnate. Catch hold of that which is known prior to any other thing. That is the one that listens. What is the difference between you and the world? Is your light any different from the light of the sun or the light in the sky? It is the space of consciousness, Chidikash, in which I am arises. Consciousness is the certitude of one's own nature. Take good care of your body. However, be certain about your true nature. Love and devotion are names of the knowledge I am. It is pure knowledge, not imparted by someone else. It has come over unasked for. Get a firm hold of that knowledge. It is the one that is listening. It is your own true nature. The teaching offered to one who dwells in body consciousness goes to waste. Meanwhile, pride in the body increases. In the universal life force, a child who is not yet born is joyfully playing. There is no difference in the life force of an unborn child and the one that is born. You cannot say that one that is not born does not exist. It is joyfully playing in the whole of consciousness. Meditate on consciousness. It is in the body. It is not the body. All is seen by virtue of that. All names pertain to consciousness. The world is for the entertainment of that concept. You will worship the faith in yourself if you have faith in the Guru. When faith is created, proper understanding will take place. There is no difference between us. If one is without form, how can there be any pride in the action that is performed? From a jnani's point of view, the world was never created. Whatever is seen is false. The cover, that is the body, is not your form. You are the luminous consciousness within. You may identify with this or that as experienced in consciousness. The knower of consciousness is perfect. He is without any desire. This true situation is not such as can be consciously noted because it has no form or color. With faith in the Guru's word, one's realization never wavers. Nirupana 28, Saturday, May 13th, 1978. The words of a jnani are imbued with the essence of the Vedas. Nothing is in your hands. Whatever is to happen will happen when it has to happen. Identification as a man or a woman is a stain on consciousness. It has to be wiped out. Nothing else is to be done. You are already perfect. Worldly dealings depend upon names and forms. When there is no identification with the body, either as male or female, the cause and effect relationships have no power over you. Then what do you have to lose? What is the enjoyment of sages of the Himalayas who have lived for thousands of years? Are they not enjoying their consciousness, or perhaps just a sweet sleep? My period of samadhi is endless. I was in samadhi for ages and ages. At this moment there is some knowingness. When there are no words, what can you call yourself? Everything depends upon what you take yourself to be. That is the reason why the word is all-powerful. When you bathe at home, it is customary to say, Jai Ganga, Jai Ganga. Does that tap water really come from the Ganges? Your word itself is the Ganges. The one on whom the water is poured is the one who makes the Ganges holy. He can never be an object to himself. He does not have the sensation that he is. When one is certain that he is neither a man nor a woman, that one is the self, will there be a thought of personal gain or loss? The past incarnations that you worship are not aware of your devotion. Krishna and Arjuna do not know each other in the present. Patience, faith, and determination are necessary. Association with the sage is the same as association with peace. It is prior to consciousness. Chitananda consciousness bliss has a sense of duality. It is enjoyment. It is movement. It is there when one knows I am. In non-duality there is no guna at all. Therefore there is no bliss in it. There is no knowingness in the supreme state. When one does not know that he is, there is everlasting peace. What has been created will vanish. Get self-realization before that happens. There is no peace in knowingness. Mind itself is the absence of peace. He, as absolute, will be there even when billions of suns come and go. How omnipotent he must be. That power is yours when you do not know yourself, prior to the manifestation of consciousness. The appearance of the Word means the appearance of the sky, space. The fact that you are is the appearance of time. Do not get stuck to what you have been taught or what you have learned. Eventually you will have to throw it away. Nirupnanas 29, Sunday, May 14, 1978. Time comes into existence with our sense of I am beingness, and then everything happens. When it disappears, nothing remains. It is not possible to be totally without worry because that is inherent in the nature of time. We are just helpless onlookers. Things happen as they will. All dealings in the world go on spontaneously. A rare one will deliberate on this point and discriminate. We carry on with our practical life only on the basis of what we have read and heard. Maharaj says each one of us is pure consciousness, a passive witness. The impressions recorded in the memory are performing all the activities. This goes on automatically. We have forgotten our true nature. Our behavior is like that of a king behaving as a beggar in a dream. We have knowingness in the waking state, but it has the entanglement of the gunas. Carry out your worldly dealings, but remember that they will not last. It is said that God created the world. It is our own consciousness. It is formless. When it is realized, the work is over. Think of yourselves as free without bodies. Contemplate on the contemplator. All things are said by the Word, to the Word, through the Word. However, your true identity is different. Your pure Word, will it purify you, or will it itself be purified? Is there any part of you that has to be purified? You have not realized as long as there is the desire, my well-being should be achieved or I should get some benefit. Truth cannot be an object of knowledge. Whatever is transient can only be an object for knowing. Unless there is silence in meditation, one has not reached the correct level. In meditation, one forgets oneself. The mind flows only if there are impressions. Can it think of things that it does not know? Paramatman is speaking of the experience of how he has made himself conscious. So long as you go about in body consciousness, in body form, your identification is of a jiva. Jiva and Shiva are two names given to the state where there is action. The functions of the jiva are limited to the body. Shiva, pure consciousness, is formless and unattached. The understanding that you have got after listening is Parabrahman. The belief that you are like the body is the delusion. No action can change the fact that you are pure consciousness. The root of Maya is consciousness, by which you know yourself. Our true nature is unknown to us. How can we talk about that which is unknown to us? Hence the scriptures keep quiet. Clean without dirt does not mean white. Even whiteness is dirt. The lotus that comes out of the navel, the source, symbolizes our consciousness. From consciousness, the 5 elements, including space, have been created. When you did not have knowledge of your consciousness, Was there any fear? Consciousness through which the whole world has been created? Can you catch it with your senses? If you remember what you have heard now, there is nothing in the world that can harm you. Why? It is because you have understood the meaning of the self. The birthless one is never born. Still, consciousness is created. The impression of the body goes very deep. It is difficult to make it lighter. That is why it is difficult to remember this. Since childhood, we have intimately identified with the body. Now, we cannot even imagine that our true nature is formless. The remedy for this is the mantra given by the Guru and faith in the Guru. Can the dream world be created by one's own efforts? Yet it creates itself and moves about. The meaning of the wordless silence is I am awake. This is followed by the mundane activity with names and forms. After waking up when we feel we are, the word is created. Your great discomfort is your own consciousness. It is like a child of a barren woman, non-existent. Whatever is not fancied does not materialize. If you do not understand, at least respect consciousness that is listening. Treat it as the holy feet of the Guru. Have you understood the meaning of the birth of Brahman at the navel lotus? All the cleverness of the world comes from imitation. For example, those who are fond of movies behave like what they see in the movies. Like that, see the film of consciousness properly, attentively. Then you will go beyond it. All this information is of the knowledge that is listening. Everything is a result of the play of consciousness. The flavor of our beingness at the navel is He, Sri Hari, who cannot be seen as someone or something. You are in the body, but you are invisible by nature. Your true nature does exist, but your eyes cannot see it. If you are like this, then there is no bondage for you. What is a liberated soul? The answer is, he is the one who is listening now. When you hear, you must feel. Oh, is that so? So long as you consider your body as your form, everything is true. When you realize that you are not the body, you will know that everything is just word only. There are only words and nothing else. The meaning of the word will prove true as you want or as you insist on it. Insist on the word, only then the word will manifest accordingly. Whatever you say will happen. Worship by the mind is the worship of space by space. Mental worship is higher than bodily worship. Before all this happened, I was there. If I am the cause of everything that happens, then what is the use of all that? The fact is that manifestation is all-pervading and individuality does not remain. Maharaj means to say that realization is of no use to the seeker. When he attains it, he is no longer an individual to enjoy it. When space and I are not different, wherever I go, that will be the place where I am already present. If you go as a body, that is not true. If you apperceive this, will you ever die? The form of your consciousness is space. The knower is you. whatever way the I am behaves is called sport, Maya. It is not real. Sport means fun, where there is no gain or loss. Nirupana 30, Sunday, May 21st, 1978. Sugar cane is a plant. When its form changes, it becomes sugar. What is there in the heart of pure sugar? Is it not sweetness? Like that, there is sweetness in the body. It has no form, but has a flavor. It is our beingness. In the process of search, the pure consciousness is uncovered. Consciousness means pure sattva guna. What is born are the gunas. It is not my birth. Even if that has many qualities, many forms, e.g., that of a man or a woman still. That is beyond birth or death. How can one who pervades the whole universe have death? All have one and the same guna, the quality of being a jiva, the quality of knowing, the information I am. The quality which is like space is the sattva guna. Whatever misery is experienced is by the gunas only. Just keep silent while saying, I am not the body. All will disappear spontaneously and your true nature will be uncovered. I am not the sattva guna consciousness because I am the knower of it. I am prior to it. I was there already before the body came over me, but I had no information. All this knowledge is not honest. The reason is that it undergoes change. The manifestation is called birth. But whose birth is it? The manifestation is atomic, but it has pervaded the whole universe. The original ignorance has become 100 years old, and one says, I have become a Mahatma, great soul. But if that ignorance or consciousness goes away, then what? How is it that you experience good or bad odors? Or does it happen spontaneously? Who is doing this? Who is holding up the picture that you see? Do you purposefully keep a thing in memory? Or does it stay there by itself? All kinds of needs come with the body and make us beggars. Where there is no consciousness, there is perfection. Where there is awareness of the body, God, consciousness is there. And where there is God, there is also a body. The absolute Paramatman is beyond both. We have sorrow, but the root of it is our own consciousness. Where there is no knowingness, there is no form, no gunas, no actions. Just concentrate on your consciousness and nothing else. Whatever you do will be an obstruction. Everyone has got a taste of it, the feeling I am. It is transient. Neither the Krishna taste has remained nor the Shiva taste. There have been great sages, but they no longer have their I amness. The same vital force is there in all bodies, yet one body does not know the other, though millions of bodies are born every moment. That is the wonder of the vital force, Maya. When Krishna talked about the nature of his self, it was not the description of a person. Krishna said, Arjuna, kill all the Kauravas, but I say not a single one will die. Krishna gave this knowledge to Arjuna at that fearful occasion. But does anyone think about how he did that? Though Krishna was truly a great teacher, yet that bodily idol of Krishna was ignorance only. The consciousness of Krishna, is the same knowingness which by nature is ignorance because it is transient and does not last. Krishna had recognized that truth, so he became a jnani. There is nothing in the world except for this ignorance, which is the greatest fraud. This consciousness itself is dishonest. The world tree has come into existence through the growth of the root ignorance, the seed of consciousness. I have understood the reason why I have a body. It is enough to know that I am not that. I have understood why the accusation of birth has come over me. Contemplate on this. You are pure Brahman. You have no death. There is nothing, no one except you. Therefore do not talk against anyone, do not blame anyone. You are the subtle manifested consciousness. It is the seed of the universe, seed of Brahman, seed of Atman. There is no importance to how one behaves. Knowing he is neither this nor that, one sits quiet. I am not even the one who knows I am. There is bliss after. This is like this is not like that, goes away. After the body is forgotten, one becomes free from the pride of body consciousness. When bliss becomes compact, impenetrable, then it is not consciously felt. This bliss is not such as can be remembered or forgotten. Mind, intellect, and consciousness cannot speak of the Supreme Self. They dictate behavior. But is he affected? One who is listening does so due to the conglomeration of the mind, intellect, and consciousness. But the one who is bliss impenetrable is the knower of the mind, intellect, and consciousness. He is not affected by them. One should be ashamed of saying that the body is his form. How much is being done in order to keep honor and to avoid shame? All gunas belong to the mind, intellect, and consciousness. There can be no action without them. One's nature means one's conduct based upon previous impressions. You are inside the collective mind, intellect, and consciousness. Bliss is beyond that. The one with bliss impenetrable is under no rule of conduct. Direct knowledge means your own self. There is no teaching there, nor a teacher. What has been manifested has no use, either for good or bad. Until you transcend consciousness, the sense of doership will be there. The body is introduced only in the beingness. Beingness and dreams are the same, and all is felt and fancied in that. So long as this I amness was not known, there was no interruption in the compact bliss. The dream looks very real, but it is dishonest and not true. I amness has no limit or standard. You have to understand this only once, and then there is no concern for the body at all. The I amness is a passing phase. It is borrowed. Beingness means the feeling you are. It will not last. A rare one knows this beingness with the help of the Guru. He becomes timeless. Without the grace of the Guru, this consciousness will not be stabilized. After knowing this, a rare one gets rid of his body identification such as I am a man or a woman. The rest die with such identification. In this vast consciousness, there is no religious system, no karma, no time. It is prior to the sense I am. Do not try to know it, but hold on to what you have heard. It is the natural state where there is no memory that I am the body. One remains in his natural state of being. The one who holds the Guru word as ultimate will get forbearance and will get the state of Brahman. Even if there is knowledge of Brahman, it is not everlasting or true. As it is an experience, it cannot last. All is Brahman. All is blissful and peaceful. The sense of individuality, however, is a misery. Remember that. Nirupana 31, Thursday, May 25th, 1978. Here we only talk about why we need our beingness and what its actual use is for us. Here nothing is said about past or future. Whatever is known will come to an end. Everyone feels he should be, but this beingness will not last forever. We are as we appear. This deep-rooted concept should go away. We should realize the fact that we are not as we appear, but are as we see. The belief that we will die is false. The known will become unknown. We are unknown by nature. Just as water evaporates, or the sun sets, or the lamp is extinguished, it does not mean that it dies. Understand death to be something like that. One should treat oneself as pure consciousness and not as a body. Anything that depends upon memory will not last. Whatever is known will be forgotten. The one to whom knowingness happens is always at peace. We are not going to die, but whatever is known will become unknown. It will not be seen. The unknown is called God, Brahman, etc. It is all a bazaar of names. All actions are performed by virtue of the name. Take your consciousness to be God, who is formless, and worship it as taught by the Guru. All the action is mere entertainment. The nature of the entertainment varies with time. Life force is one. Due to difference in form, everything looks different from the other. Every sage has a different pattern of behavior. There are thousands of men, but each one is different. Avatars, incarnations, are the same, yet Rama is different from Krishna. Days have different names, but the sun is the same. This puzzle will get solved slowly, and finally there will be no trace of ego left. The one who has doubts regarding devotion to the Guru will have trouble. The Guru is your own self. This self-consciousness has come over us naturally. It gets realized naturally and remains in its natural state of siddha. It manages the activity of the body, but the body does not control it. You have no other heir. You are your own heir. You are Brahman. You are Maya. And you are you. The words we are Brahman, but by nature it is our own self. Remember the Guru and keep your devotion to him. If someone listens to me and remembers 5 or 6 sentences, he does not need to do spiritual activity anymore. Krishna says, because of devotional singing, I become manifest. Without the devotee, I cannot be manifest. I gave my all to those who were devoted to me. Whatever are my names, they are my devotees' names. They do not die. Their fame spreads. Their names uplift the world. So long as the world and the devotee exist as true, then the miracles are also true. All temples are dedicated to the ones who gave devotion. Krishna says that a realized consciousness is necessary for my becoming manifest. The same is called Guru. Krishna has spoken the ultimate spiritual truth. He always said, I am the perfect Atman. One who uses the 5 elements is the Atman. He illuminates space. He is without stain, without attachment, always and ever alive. He gives all his worthiness to a true devotee. Devotion has to be without expectation. One must be devoted because one wants God. Be aware. When the last moment arrives, have full faith in whatever the Guru has said. Offer your body by saying, I am not the body. The activity of the 5 elements is due to me. This you will know only through devotion to the Guru. Do not speak ill of anyone. This is very important. Such an attitude must stop. Each being has got the certitude that it is alive. It is self-luminous. This luminosity has come spontaneously. One who offers this faith, beingness, to the Guru receives the same in return. The Guru says, accept your consciousness as a gift from me and use it without words, just as you know you are male or female without saying it. Treat your consciousness as God or Guru. Take it away from the body and direct it to the self. The supreme state of being is called Satguru, the manifested consciousness that is moving about in the world through human bodies is called as Sri Guru. Our consciousness is the holy sight, darshan, of the Guru. He is formless. He is motivating all the bodies. He has manifested as my own consciousness. If the devotee has full faith, God takes an incarnation and helps him. That form has been taken by your own self. There is no other deity besides him. If you hold on to the Guru word, you will understand that true happiness is the quality of your own nature. Your consciousness is the Sadguru. It is the non-dualistic devotion that says with conviction, I am God. That is the true situation. This is very difficult, but when understood, it is easy. All the gods and deities have used my life force, my consciousness. I am all perfect. This should be the conviction. The jnani does not need any certification. After listening to the Guru word, one must be thought-free. Stick to the simple conviction in your heart that your true nature is in accordance with the Guru word. All living beings are motivated by me, not verbally, but actually, because all visible forms are the reflection of myself. My atomic consciousness pervades the whole world. When it manifests, only then the world comes into existence. In deep sleep, there was a stirring and it manifested as the universe. The I Am has created the cosmic panorama. It is the source of all the sages and saints. When that wakefulness goes back to sleep, all deities melt into it. Devotion should be accompanied by faith. The original faith, I am, should be properly understood. Then the whole puzzle will be solved. Devotion states, I am the life force, consciousness. All this is due to my own light. This should be enjoyed within the silence. Nirupana 32, Sunday, May 28th, 1978. The form of consciousness, I am, is space. As you are formless, will you have any needs? Take space as your identity. Holding on to this identity permanently is called spiritual austerity. Do not bring humanness into this. Once you realize this, would there be any need for a house or a family? What instrument do you have for this search? Is it not the knowledge that you are? This is the main capital that is spread throughout the world in the form of the 5 elements. Krishna also taught this knowledge in various ways. What was his capital? Was it not his consciousness? With most people, the same capital is smeared with sin and virtue. Whether you see a deity or a ghost, it is seen in the light of your light. Most teachers recommend rites and rituals. No one talks of such self-evident facts. If there is conviction that space is one's form, is there ever any gain or loss? The knower of consciousness comes prior to it. That which is prior to consciousness cannot be described in words. Existence, consciousness, bliss, Satchitananda, is the quality of knowingness. It is still objective. The knower is not an object. My talk is like this because I have seen existence, consciousness, bliss in its bare form. The knowledge I am is bliss. So long as you have not experienced this, you will not be able to understand yourself. As soon as you become stabilized in yourself, the continuous commentary of the mind will stop. You still have fear. It means a little sin is lurking inside. Identification with the body is the sin. Your consciousness works through 5 channels, i.e., touch, hearing, seeing, taste, and smell. Consciousness is you. Hold on to it. Have you understood this? Remembering this meditation, gradually its worthiness will be inspired. Pay attention to the greatness of this knowledge. It is so atomic. Yet how colossal is the creation out of it? That which is already there need not be searched for. Do not mix it with the mire of body consciousness. So long as you do not treat your beingness as God, you will not understand anything. Had it not been there, who could have said, I am Krishna, Vishnu, etc.? Instead of believing in facts, you believe in illusory things. That is because of Maya. If you want to drive out this illusion, pay attention to your subtle consciousness. It is as great as the entire universe. When you get up from deep sleep, it is the self, consciousness, that wakes up. But you take yourself as a man or a woman. Then you face death. Do not repeat the knowledge that you have heard here till the experience comes. The flood of light of this atomic consciousness is so vast that it has become the whole world. It is the same through which you feel yourself to be sinful or virtuous. If the truth and untruth are known only once, it is enough. There is no use then of sitting down and going into samadhi all over again. You have fragmented yourself. That is why thoughts harass you. Pay attention to the fact that you are all this in its entirety. The I amness can be understood in the waking state only. Your pure consciousness is prior to any concepts. The truth suddenly is felt as I am, and immediately thereafter the universe comes into existence. If the knowledge of your consciousness dissolves into the truth, people will throng wherever you go. Maya is that which is seen, felt, fancied, and known, but it does not last. The self is the base for all that happens in consciousness. That which is known becomes unknown, and this is called death. It is evident that the 5 elements are all that is. They are sporting within me. To wake up from deep sleep is also the moving power of the 5 elements. It is the power of sattva guna that nourishes rajas and tamas. The most important power is to understand that not I, but the world I see, is born. Through this, everything is seen. The sense of waking up is the birth of the world. Birth means knowing the I amness. With it the world is created. Once this consciousness is born, the world comes into view with individual bodies and their joys and sorrows. Unless you meditate on this, the puzzle will not be solved. The world is born spontaneously. Dissolve your consciousness at that point. It is of the nature of God. Consciousness, just the simple knowledge of our beingness, is the Guru, the Lord of Lords. One who believes that consciousness is the body and the mind is lost. Through the mind, I am is sensed. Good and bad are known through the meaning that comes out of the mind. And you are not the mind. How true can the experience be that comes through breathing? Had you seen the world before you were born? The world is born along with you. The I amness in the human body is the birthplace of the world. When consciousness arises, only then the world is born. There is no birth or death for you. Consciousness has not created an individual, but the whole world. Body consciousness is the obstruction. Otherwise, it is easy to understand this. Body consciousness has delivered the perfect one into the hands of time, death. It has measured it by counting its days. You, as Satguru Self, have never been born. It's only the body or Maya that is born. You are the proof of the Satguru's word. I am really the one that my Guru told me I was. Whether the body falls or not, I am the proof of what I heard from my Guru, and the proof of my conviction is my faith in the Satguru. When the Jiva and Shiva both are proved to be unreal, the Paramatman still remains as the witness. By virtue of my sacred offering, pure consciousness is realized. The concept I am gets dissolved. The one who is before such a concept cannot be destroyed. So long as consciousness has desires, be watchful. The illusory consciousness has given birth to the world, not to you. To move that illusory world, do you require any power? If my words pierce someone, he will become a Siddha. Nirupana 33, Tuesday, June 6th, 1978. What is needed in order to recognize oneself? Is it the mind? The knower of the mind is consciousness. The self can only be known through consciousness. Here the intellect is of no use. Intellect is of the essence of the collective mind. Consciousness has to be realized through consciousness, which is prior to the mind. You say you know the flow of the mind, and yet you flow with the mind. That is false. That means there is no conviction of how you are, and until such time, fear is there. The greatness of the world is in the heart of a human being. However, he fails to understand that. He considers himself as the body and suffers misery. All great sages of the world became so by meditating on their own consciousness. It uncovers itself and acquires greatness. That which was already there came to know it is. This is called birth. The name Maya is given to birth. Maya is the behavior of the gunas. Its source is consciousness. It is the knowingness created at birth. Birth implies beingness. You are prior to that knowledge. All this is the sport of your own consciousness. Whatever is felt, fancied, or known is actually not you. One who knows this is the self. The creation, sustenance, and dissolution of consciousness happens on the base of the Supreme Self. All deities are a projection of consciousness. It is the result of the action of guna maya. You are the support of all these. Maya means the experience of consciousness. Dying does not mean annihilation. It is like the setting of the sun. No one has death as such. The matchstick is the food for the flame. When it gets extinguished, it does not mean that it has died. The apparent conviction that one's body is the self is what is called Maya. It has an infinite number of names. Maya herself has been given the status of a deity. There is no truth at all in this world, hence it is not necessary to observe its rules and regulations. It is fictitious. Consciousness is moving about as beingness. Consciousness that is experienced is in fact not real. The meaning that floats through the feeling I am is unreal. For example, to say I am like this, I have done this, etc., is unreal. When consciousness goes, the world also disappears. Consciousness and the world are not separate. The work is done for the one who clearly knows his own self. Consciousness has to know only this. The form, which is fancied and known through consciousness, is not one's true nature. Consciousness means the guru, and the guru means consciousness. They are not apart. The I am was not known and is now known. This is the primordial Maya. The Lord or a blade of grass is the same for one who has surrendered to the Sadguru. Maya means self-love. Whatever consciousness achieves is never full. It is incomplete, as it is not true. This attitude is born in one in whom the Paramatman wants to manifest. Therefore, constantly remember the word of the Satguru. Become one with your consciousness. The oil disappears after giving light. Similarly, your consciousness will spread throughout the world and then disappear. Then what will remain? It is the pure nature of Paramatman. Continue with your silent repetition of the mantra. Then the Guru-ness in your heart will suddenly burn intensely and show you how it rises and sets. Your true nature will be revealed. Nirupana 34, Thursday, June 8, 1978. The meaning of the mantra is your consciousness. You should make it known to you. While reciting the mantra, whatever you feel, let it be felt. It will go away. The import of the mantra is your beingness. In order to realize it, become more and more quiet. You are not dependent on the five elements or sleep or wakefulness. Until such time that this becomes clear, go on contemplating. In the end, you will realize that you were never born. Neither have you carried out any worldly action. When you are enlightened, you will say, "It was not necessary for me to gain the world or worldly knowledge." Renunciation means to detach from the five elements and consciousness. Without air, fire has no soul. Without the light of Brahman, consciousness, there is no space. And without space, there is no air. In the five elements, there is no static form as such. To know this thoroughly is called renunciation. We know that we are, because of the five elements and consciousness. They will not last. One who has recognized this cannot be seasonal. If there is no consciousness, what can be known? One who has not thought of his own nature has to believe in things he hears in the world. A rare one, by the grace of the Guru, will pay attention to that to which the worldly phenomenon is sensed. He will not be attracted to the world. He will only pay attention to his consciousness. This knowledge is about him through whom the world is visible. The sense I am is known through him. This is the work of consciousness. As a result of the Guru word, this knowledge will be created spontaneously. When the atomic consciousness in the body awakens, it pervades the universe. When asleep, it pervades the dream world. The universe is filled with consciousness and it continues its existence. The one who knows this is called a jnani. A person may get to be a king of the world, but as long as he has not realized his consciousness, his achievements are like a mirage. All religions are the religions of tradition. The true religion is to know the nature of the self. Be in that. One who is dead, does he get the experience that he is dead? Someone else says that he is dead. Such is the tradition. The sight of the knower is consciousness. In the view of that sight, all this performance is going on. After realization, there is no place for individuality, but there remains a memory, in some form or the other, of being an individual. Consciousness that has pervaded the universe does not pertain to someone in particular. It belongs to all. However, it is seasonal, temporary, time-bound. When its duration is over, it is gone. People take to saffron robes just to take advantage of a tradition. Other people fold their hands and bow before them. Catch hold of consciousness so that your renunciation has a true meaning. Meditate on consciousness. It will show you its source. The world is seen within consciousness, which itself has been created through ignorance. What you have heard from other people is the source of fear, bondage, and liberation for you. Can the one who has understood time see death? Consciousness has no support. It does not depend on the five elements or the three gunas. One's own nature is the true knowledge. It is not dependent on anyone or anything. First, you must see your own self. Renunciation happens through self-knowledge. One who has understood the ultimate meaning knows his self. The rest are all selfish, who look after the well-being of their own individual self-ego. Call your consciousness as the Guru. Then it will show you the right way. It is consciousness that takes renunciation. a rare one, out of millions can give initiation by saying, "You will not die." Nirupana 35, Sunday, June 11th, 1978. The more you understand about spirituality, the less will be your needs. When a jiva dies, it means the sense I am ends. To understand this, one should get stabilized within. Whatever you take yourself to be will come to an end. The I amness that you have taken for granted will not last. Wakefulness came from deep sleep. Along with that came the feeling I am. When the mind is busy with daily activities, we bind ourselves to what we say or how we act. Otherwise, the beingness by itself is detached. Unless we give ourselves a name, there will be no activity. Actually, no one acts, and no action is really true. Nothing is done. Brahman is true, as it has no sense of I amness. So long as consciousness is not understood, one has to act through the mind. The vast universe arises from the Brahmaranda aperture in the crown of the head. All knowledge comes out of the Brahma atom, and it merges back in the end. One who considers his consciousness as the guru has no ritual to follow. By taking the guru word as authority, one is not bound by the cycle of karma. This happens spontaneously. All worldly dealings are the movement of God. The devotee does not differentiate between himself and the guru. Take yourself to be pure consciousness and behave accordingly. A simple devotee becomes limitless by holding on to the guru word. By reciting the mantra given by the guru, he becomes one with the guru. When the inner God is pleased, he gives the gift of the guru. On the dissolution of individuality, the fear of death goes away. Any identity you take will be temporary. The identity given by the guru will remain forever. To realize consciousness while in the human body is priceless. There is no one as generous as the one who offers self-knowledge. If you realize that, there will be no difference between you and the guru. You will become immortal. Even without dying, you have fear of death. There will never be an experience of death as such. Still, the fear of death does exist. You know that you have awakened. Does it not mean that you were there before awakening? This memory could come only when one existed prior to that. The 5 elements are the characteristics of the memory I am. It will never be able to see the one who is prior to memory. You may believe in God, etc., but it has no steady existence. You consider your memory I am as yourself. There are thousands of memories. Are we those memories? All action is the result of memory, but we are not the memory. The nature of memory is to forget. Even the memory that I am God comes to an end. Discriminate, deliberate on this point, and be free. Get rid of the memory I am. Identification as a man or woman is through that only. What does it mean? How did it get created? If by the grace of the Guru someone understands this, he will become the eternal Brahman. Do your words belong to a mortal human or to immortal God? If you make just one sentence out of this discourse as your own, you will become immortal. Nirupana 36. Thursday, June 15th, 1978. Bliss that comes by the grace of the Satguru cannot come from anything else. Bliss that you enjoy at the time of death is infinitely more than the greatest happiness you may have experienced in your life. The time of death is the time of perfect life, the time of immortality. Unless you embrace this knowledge, there will be no peace. You may talk about this to others, but you will not be blissful. Contemplate on the self, with whatever name you call it, Brahman, Guru, or God. All over the world, people love themselves. Out of millions, a rare one will understand the meaning of this. The love of the self looks after the body, whether it is ugly or beautiful, without getting tired. How does one meditate on consciousness? It should be done without holding anything in mind. Make it easy by calling it the Guru. You want every entertainment to while away the time. The source of all is the love of the self. All of your relations and possessions will ultimately disperse. Get to understand the self before this happens. Searching through the mind will not be enough. Discrimination will bring it to you. Do not hurt anyone. Just go on tolerating. You will get the limitless power of tolerance. Endure with patience the censure and harassment of one and all. Do not, as a reaction, censure that person. All foolishness is due to selfishness. Quarrels are due to selfishness. With realization, your selfishness will come to an end. He, God, who may not be found in the world, is found in the heart of the devotee. The world seems to be outside, but it is seen from within. The idol in the heart, the idol of knowledge, has no form. It is similar to the sweetness of sugar. Krishna says, I am present in your heart as Bhagavan and luminous. It is consciousness. It is the same as you. The sun of knowledge in your body is that through which you know you are. It is the supreme devotion. It is not dualistic. It is called love. All living beings have this devotion in their heart, but only a human being can understand it. A busy person acts through this devotion, but does not know it. Devotion means the love you are. It has been created unknowingly. It protects the body. Have you realized that you are love yourself? Be aware of this supreme devotion and meditate on it. In the first stage, it is difficult. Therefore, this devotion is called God or Guru. Who is listening now? Is it not the love in the body? One who knows this love directly achieves the state of Paramatman. Because you take yourself as the body, you have to face miseries day after day. The body may be of any quality. Yet the love, the supreme devotion, is never displeased. The love of self in the body performs devotion. For understanding self-love, you will have to meditate on it. Treat it as the Guru. All the incarnations, as well as Maya and Brahman, are not different from self-love. These are names to understand the fact. What is nobler than self-knowledge? Out of millions, a rare one will meditate on the love of self. You will come to know your totality through self-love or through devotion. For whom do you suffer hardships and do this laborious work? Is it not for this love? To meditate on self-love, recognize it as God. It has thousands of names. That which is worshipped and praised is the self-luminous love in the body. A rare one realizes that he is that self-love, and that is where the Paramatman manifests himself. Self-love is self-knowledge, which is of the nature of Brahman. How long will it last? So long as there is consciousness in the body. One realizes the self-love by following the Guru word. It will bring you eternity. To him the universe that is infinite looks like a sesame seed. It may be true that you do not know this self-love, but without it, you do not exist. Krishna says, I am in the heart, but am not found without devotion. People worship outer covers and get devoted to them. A rare one devotes himself to consciousness directly. This devotion works in each being. The love of one's own nature. The love that wakes you up in the morning is self-love. One who realizes this achieves perfection. This love is naturally in the body. It is self-sensing. Once you realize it, your work is done. It can neither be held, nor can it be given up, no matter how much one tries. So it is the same as the Guru. What makes people adorn themselves? Is it not self-love? However it is transient, there is going to be a separation from those whom you call your own. Self-love is not concerned with anything else. It is without attachment. What you have known will surely go away. You are the love that is formless, nameless, and indestructible. Keep it in mind. Once you know it, the 5 elements are sure to surrender to you. People are unable to grasp the deep secret of spiritual truth. One gets enjoyment from various things. What enjoyment have you derived from your consciousness? To love another is adultery. Do not love others with your self-love. Love the love itself. By adulterous devotion you may get a temporary benefit, but you will not be happy. The whole world is really brimming with your love and is created out of your love. The crowd on the street is the love in body forms. It is the primordial illusion or mulmaya. Her action is moving the whole world. Love is working through all bodies. However, it is wrongly identified as the bodies. You may meditate on a deity, but the meditator is the self-love. The experience of this love has come over you unasked for, and everything depends on it. If you please this love, you will realize that you are everlasting and perfect. Presently you can only see it in the form of the 5 elements, the 6th being God. To achieve love, through love, names are given to that love. Many rituals are performed to recognize this love for our consciousness. I am. If this love determinedly worships itself, it will be the same as the worship of all gods and deities. The names of gods and deities are the names of love. They are the embodiment of the love. Nirupnanas 37, Sunday, June 18th, 1978. In the old days, whatever the Guru had to tell the disciple, he would say it only once. When they met again after 12 years, the disciple would be ready. The meaning of this is, it is not necessary to go to the Guru constantly. First of all, there is the self, our true nature. Then consciousness appears. Through that all the dealings take place. They depend upon the memory. But nothing stays forever. The entire behavior is traditional. A rare one looks within. Consciousness and all that is known through it is by nature universal. That which knows this is atomic and impenetrable. Whatever is known through consciousness goes on changing, and in the end, consciousness also disappears. Then, who was born and who died? You have held everything within consciousness. But consciousness has a beginning and an end. It is your delusion that you treat yourself as so-and-so within that consciousness. What you know through consciousness will be gone. Then what, ultimately, is the use of what you have done? What is created is the lotus of the heart, and the world is its petals. From there various pollens are created. But its source is the stalk. The subtle consciousness is called the lotus of the heart. Whatever you know is part of consciousness. One who knows that consciousness rises and sets is liberated. One is bound when he considers what is known through consciousness as true. It has been given the status of God. If you have no consciousness, where is God? The Guru plants the seed in your consciousness that I am God. It germinates and grows. Then the seeker realizes that the form, body, world has no use. The learned man of pure intellect, or even a simple believer, gets liberated. Only those who are somewhere in between fumble. Do not just meditate. Live in meditation. The Guru's words are the only truth. Hold on to that. The Guru gave the advice, you are pure Brahman. Hold on to that. That is the seat of consciousness. Do not forget that you are consciousness. With conviction, firmly insist that I am Brahman. What is your share in the world? Then what are you proud of? Hope and desire are the oils that keep the flame of life going. When hopes and desires are finished, one is extinguished right out. He is not dead, but is extinguished like a lamp. According to the Vedas, the thinking during the last moment of life decides the destination. For example, a Hindu and a Muslim kill each other while their attention is fixed on each other. The Hindu is born as a Muslim and vice versa, so the battle never ends. Remembering the Guru means remembering consciousness. When you see yourself as consciousness, you will come to know how free and open everything is. You and your world are void. The effort you make will be an interruption in this. Your consciousness is like a visitor, transient. The world is seen through consciousness, but consciousness will not last. It is a passing phase. Then why be concerned with the world? When consciousness goes, does it mean that you die? Consciousness has been given the status of God. When you become of the nature of God, you will understand that everything is unreal. Then you will be free from bondage. If the effort is given up, there will be no interruption. Efforts create the mind, which is an interruption. The consciousness that talks of God and the consciousness that listens are not different. Listening to the teachings creates detachment. The company of the body does not remain forever. Besides, it changes through various stages of life. Consciousness has no form, hence it is neither a man nor a woman. The sense I am depends upon the 5 elements. You wish to get rid of your body consciousness, hence you have to pay attention to the consciousness that listens. It is not important whether you carry on worldly dealings or not, but the concept I am the doer, and I am responsible for the dealings, should vanish. Your temporary consciousness is subtler than space. You are all. Any identity you have taken up will not last. The one who knows this is immortal. What you know is only through this consciousness. It experiences happiness and sorrow. The one who knows consciousness is beyond experience. Consciousness is the birth of God. Remember that. When you come to know you are, God is born. The seed of Brahman is sown in you through the word I am. The more it takes root, the less will be the identification as a human being. God means consciousness, the same as your beingness, the sense I am. Your actions are the actions of God consciousness. Without self-realization, you cannot be a jnani. Recitation of the mantra is the remembrance of one's own true nature. It is the meditation on I am. Practice that. It requires no other proof. The mundane concepts of an individual determine his behavior. However, your consciousness is natural and spontaneous. It is not the result of your concepts or ideas. When there is no longer any necessity of I am or I should be, it is liberation. Death is only a projected fear. It is not a matter of experience. Death of the body is not your death. Concept precedes action, but consciousness is without a prior concept. What was not noticed before this is noticed as I am. It is still time-bound. It has no end. To listen to the story of God is to listen to your own story. When you are, just be aware of your beingness. Is there any need for God or the world? Words cannot describe self-realization. One in whom God incarnates can discriminate. This knowledge will not come through the recitation of the mantra or austerities. There are not direct means for self-realization. They are a means to keep the mind quiet. Who sent you here? Is it not your own self? Where you are not, there is no God, no religion, and no world. Wherever you are, there is everything. God is characterized by knowingness. You are that in which all characteristics are dissolved. Nirupana 38, Thursday, June 22nd, 1978. The nature of Paramatman is such that he has no coming or going. At this time you have 2 bodies before you. One is your own, the other is the world. Worldly dealings are managed by concepts. So long as you have not realized the supreme state of being, you have to follow traditions. All actions happen through concepts. You have taken for granted that you are created. This is based upon someone else's concept. Concepts decide your state, whether happy or unhappy, as also your ideas about birth and death. All this is the sport of concepts. It is the concepts that act while you think you are the doer. According to the Guru word, you are formless. You were never born. Worship consciousness and not the body. Whatever you understand as yourself will not last. You conduct yourself as directed by your mind and intellect. You do not have the courage to teach your mind and intellect. That courage will come when you act according to the Guru word. By constant remembering and worshipping, consciousness is pleased and it uncovers itself. Then you will know what non-duality is. There is no sense of separateness in the self at all. The dilemma whether to act or not goes away. When two opinions are united, there is no conflict. When consciousness is pleased, duality ends and there is totality. When there is no duality, there is bliss. For this, hold on to the Guru word. There is no God other than consciousness. Meditate on the sense I am. It is the meditator itself. It is so simple, yet people do incredible austerities for its sake. Like Krishna, you should also say, all this is I. One that is listening is the consciousness. Are you not aware that you are? Previously you did not exist and you were not aware of your beingness. Presently you know that you are, and this knowingness is consciousness. Meditate on yourself, but not as a body form. Does the memory that you are a man or a woman belong to you or to the body? Is that memory you? As soon as one feels he is, the 5 elements are perceived in consciousness. To further qualify I am as like this or like that is ignorance. The remedy for that is the search for the self. As it is difficult to meditate on your own consciousness, worship it as the Guru. You can think of the Guru as standing on your back with light spreading all over, but you cannot imagine that you yourself are standing behind you. The early stages of meditation require support of dualism. Your identity has no body form. Everything will become clear when you realize that there exists nothing other than you. When there is God, you are there. When you are, God is. You are not dependent on the body or upon the knowingness in the body. You will understand clearly without any support that I was eternal and am so forever. Just worship that through which you know everything. The nature of Paramatman is ours as our personal right, as our own existence. There is no self-knowledge for the one who considers himself as a physical body. The self has to be realized with full determination. That is the reason for your longing to come here. Fate and destiny are traditional words. What is the destiny of one in whose opinion the subtle body is not born at all? If you mention this to others, you will disturb them. One without duality has no occupation. The non-dual has no intention or desire. There is no other proof for non-duality except for I am that. Your sense of doership will not remain with you. The jnani has no desire to live. He has no such concept. Nirupana 39, Sunday, June 25th, 1978. There should be a firm understanding of one's own nature. What you talk must be supported by a firm conviction about it. There is a verse, God inspires what I am saying. It is not I, but it is God talking through me. What is being talked about is the manifest consciousness. The unmanifest is beyond word, devotion, and love. What the Guru teaches should be remembered continuously in all the waking hours, no matter what activity is being performed. When there is samadhi during waking hours, it implies that there is no worry and no thinking. Do not hurt anybody. If there is dissension, just ignore it. The body is going to fall someday. Then why should we undermine the Guru word? He has given us absolute assurance. What is the use of living if you do not believe it? Erratic behavior is not allowed in spiritual effort. One has to be steady. All practical dealings are based upon opinions. The truth is one, but people express it in their own way, according to their own opinion. They get experiences accordingly. With the strength of austerities, whatever is said comes true. The principle is one, but on the basis of that, thousands of opinions have come about. This is the power of Maya. Krishna says, "Without Maya, I cannot even be mentioned." Maya performs all activities, but the Purusha, self-Paramatman, is always silent. He is the non-doer. Those who know that they are Brahman are the true Brahmins. People claim to know Brahman and yet hold on to their egos. They start preaching their opinions. This again is the play of Maya. There have been many sages and saints, but not one behaved like the other. Only after I am has occurred comes the concept, I am Vishnu or I am Brahma. But before this happened, who was I? No one thinks of that. Maya does what she wants by taking suitable forms. To create appearances and dissolution is the characteristic of Maya. Purusha is only the onlooker. If Maya were not there would not even be a mention of Purusha, absolute. When there is no experience of Maya, what knowledge would you have about yourself? All your knowledge, information, is illusory. It is not steady. It is visible, it is felt, but it is not the truth. Purusha is actionless. Whatever is seen and felt is due to the color of Maya. Purusha is the knower of Maya. Sometimes sages develop pride of their realization. This pride became a hindrance to them and made them live for thousands of years. Whatever is known will never be steady. Why? Because Maya is illusory. You cannot ward off Maya even with penance performed for thousands of years. Even with different religious traditions, the states of sleep and wakefulness are the same for all. Due to the superimposition of Maya, some accumulate merit or some accumulate more sins. After the body falls, there will not be a vestige of memory left of what you did today. Then how are you going to utilize that merit? Rebirth is the opinion of those sages. The knowledge based upon opinions is intellectual knowledge. It is illusory. It is not self-knowledge. It is temporary. It lasts as long as the body lasts. Can there be consciousness without the body? What do you have as your own? You have the consciousness that is in the body. It depends upon the essence of food. So long as the body is healthy, you feel that your thoughts are true. After the body falls, there is no I and there is no you. But recognize it today itself. That duality was not there, and even now, it is not there. It is illusory. All this is not created, yet it is moving about. There is no such thing as a realized sage. No one lives and no one dies. All this is Maya. Even the sages get dazed with the power of Maya. Otherwise, there would not be so many opinions. The most important thing is our consciousness. It has come as a guest for a few days. Eventually, it will go. What was originally not there will return to that state. How and in which bundle are you going to preserve consciousness? Are you your consciousness? Can one say, I was there before consciousness? It is only consciousness that is created. Sin and virtue are all a matter of words. When one starts discriminating, the words run away. Only the Supreme Self knows how the Word got the experience of the Word. The rest are slaves of the Word. Each one is a slave of the mind and intellect. Your true nature is prior to consciousness. Can you preserve this consciousness? Discriminate on this right now. Nirupana 40, Thursday, June 29th, 1978. Only the Paramatman knows the nature of time. The rest who identify with the body become a victim of time. All names belong to time. When you come to know you are, it is the birth of time. It is time that is born, not the child. For the one who has self-realization, the movement of the clock and time are one and the same. For the ignorant one, the experience of time is a mountain of sorrow. For the jnani, time has ended. The ignorant one lives thinking he is the body. He is trapped in time. Just listen to this. There is no need of rituals. Whatever you hear, be aware of it, and then your meditation will work. Your beingness precedes meditation. The body depends upon time. Consciousness in the embryo is latent. It emerges in the form of beingness. The latent consciousness slowly starts expanding. Does the embryo experience time? It does not know its body. After birth, it starts identifying with the body. There is an experience of time. It starts knowing the mother. It recognizes her voice. A body's growth is a result of time. One cannot will it. Strength and weakness come according to the nature of time. Therefore, understand the passage of time. Whatever you say is the result of time. One who knows time has neither birth nor death. Without consciousness, one does not know. One does not know I am or I am not. Time is movement which is also consciousness. The measurement of how long time is experienced is the duration of your life. You are the support of time. The knower of time is not in time. The source of the creation of time is nameless. You may call it Paramatman or Parabrahman. Time shows you its own movie. Your birth is part of it. The dormant consciousness comes out of the womb. It is sustained by time. There were people who knew the three times, the past, present, and future. There still are. But who is the knower of time? When they are told that the knower of time is Paramatman, people say, yes, we understand. Do you know that you yourself are the knower of time? The one who is beyond time has no birth at all. He is not born out of the essence of the five elements. He knows that he is not the essence. in the embryo. You were born without knowledge. The knowingness arose after the birth of the body. This is the result of the nature of time. In deep sleep, the next day's activities are programmed. This program is recorded and behavior happens accordingly. To make this your own understanding, be one with your beingness. You have to do this on your own. Time has all these names: the son of the world, the son of the self, the son of the universe, etc. This son is your own consciousness. When you are with yourself, it is the sun of knowledge. The sun means time. All these names are given to your own consciousness. It is the sun of self. Various names such as consciousness, life force, knowledge of self, love, etc. are given to the beingness. Be devoted to that consciousness. Give it the status of the guru. Contemplate on it. Make obeisance to it. Whatever else you do will be eaten up by time. Recognize the sun that knows time, and then time will serve you. Take a vow to practice devotion. One who practices devotion definitely gets an extension of life. You cannot fool the Supreme Self. If this extension is misused, it will result in disaster. Because of the delusion of Maya, the jiva does not understand this knowledge till death comes. You do not require a vow or determination to realize Paramatman. He is the witness of this determination. Be aware. Always remember to whom you have to be devoted to and why. Remember that the knowledge you are is the Guru God. Nirupnanas 41, Thursday, July 6th, 1978. The difference between He, God, and I, Self, is gone. Neither really exists. The sense of individuality has been extinguished. The sense of universality is pervading. Neither the duality of He and I, nor their unity is there. If there is one, relatively the other must be there. But if one is not there, how can the other be there? Pleasure and pain both should go. When a thing is useful, it brings joy. As long as individuality is there, there is joy and sorrow. You are tortured by miseries and elated by happiness. From where do such experiences come? They come from your consciousness. What is the evidence that one is realized? The individuality is completely uprooted. There is absence of sorrow and happiness. Your consciousness realizes that it is universal. When this knowledge really comes to you, there will not be any individual identity. The source of happiness and sorrow is your sense of I am. What causes the greatest sorrow is also the means of eternal happiness. Once you know your consciousness, individuality will not be there. Who is watching this? It is the Sadguru, the changeless one. Have this conviction. He is the same in deep sleep, in wakefulness, and in samadhi. There is none other than that. The total experience that comes to you, is it different from your consciousness? Your money order has come, but you have not taken the cash. Your knowledge has come to you, but you have not taken its delivery yet. However great a thing in this world, it is still a piece of information. If there is no consciousness, of what use is it? Who would have the conviction like this except for God? When you did not have consciousness, was God true or false for you? This knowledge is your own. Never lose sight of the holy consciousness that is listening to this knowledge. There are millions of seekers. How many have realized the self? Miseries abound because we identify ourselves with the body. It is the nature of the body-mind to experience joys and sorrows. If you know that you are not the body, there is no suffering. In deep sleep, there is no identification with the body, male or female. Hence there is no experience of happiness or sorrow. Yet the mind goes on working, taking itself to be the body. It is false. If there is no mind, then nothing can be witnessed. You have to accept the holy feet of the Guru to stop the mind. You have no knowledge of your birth, you have only heard about it. The past and the future as projected by the mind are not yours. Mind determines the past, present, and future, and makes you behave accordingly. Mind says you have had millions of births, but you do not have the knowledge of a single one. Do you at least have the knowledge of your present birth? All your experiences are untrue. With the conviction that you are neither the body nor the mind, will you understand this fraud? Religions have come down through traditions. Is there a religion without dogma? Even a jnani has to follow traditions until a certain stage has been crossed. Discriminate. There is no understanding without discrimination. Until then, there is no peace. You are the knower of the mind. The knower is beyond the body-mind. When you realize that you are not what your mind tells you, you will understand why Atman is unborn. A rare one turns inwardly on his own without hearing about it from others. Gradually, learn to discriminate. The awareness of the Guru word will enable you to do this. When the mind connection is severed, you will see the void. To purify the mind, one must remember the mantra all through the waking hours. Then your mind will come under your control. When you pay attention to your true nature, the mind will disappear, bringing in the whole. In the perfect state, there is no experience of bliss. It cannot be witnessed. Did you witness anything prior to your birth? There are great learned men, but can any one of them step outside the mind? Wherever there is mind, there is prana, vital force. Where there is prana, there is consciousness. After realizing the nature of the mind, the life force is dissolved. The delight and bliss of that moment are unique. It comes to the one who knows the self. Just as it is a concept that one is born, the dread of death is also a concept. The mind surrenders to you if your incantation of the mantra is continuous. It tells you what you need to know. When prana leaves the body, does it have any pain? Prana carries out all worldly action, but you say you are the doer. When there is no prana, is there a mind? When there is no mind, there is no pain. This means that the mind has taken the form of the body. When prana leaves and the body falls, where does Atman go? This can be answered when one is clear about the self. For this, according to the sages, the mantra must be recited. Without prana, what is your identity? Without it, who is a man and who is a woman? Body consciousness brings joys, miseries, and ultimately the dreaded death. It is all a play of concepts. When you discard the concepts, there will be a celebration of liberation right in this body. Those who give up the addiction of the mind and recognize the self will surely be provided with sustenance. Remember the Guru always, and you will drop the mind and be free. Keep on the continuous incantation of the mantra. Make the mind prana say, "My true nature is indestructible and eternal." The mind will disappear. There will be the manifest Brahman itself. Thoughts disappear, and pure consciousness shines. Nirupana 42, Sunday, July 9th, 1978. Do not compete with anyone in the world. Put such things aside. Your devotion to the Guru word must be infallible. Such devotion is not dualistic. In such devotion, there is no fear, and there is no begging. You will never attain peace in association with worldly matters. Once self-realization is achieved, it is never lost. Let go of your body consciousness, the feeling I am a man or I am a woman. That which has no color, no design, has no expectations. If you fully understand your weak points, they will become your strong points. Until the age of 40, go on learning something. That way one gets some encouragement, some zeal to live by. Eventually, you will be proud to say, "I know nothing." To mention the word nirguna, unmanifest, requires relativity. Nirguna can be recognized only if there is a guna. What happens when there is no guna? Guna means the knowingness that has come in unasked as the feeling I am. It is consciousness that is listening. When there is no feeling of I am, it is called nirguna. When a person becomes one with this consciousness and forgets himself, he gets self-realization. The same consciousness is in the form of the 5 elements. It is in the form of our beingness. The knower of consciousness is without any characteristics, gunas. When consciousness becomes illumined, you feel you are. However, it is identified with the body. The only way to remove body consciousness is to hold on to the Guru word. One who has imbibed my words will not have any complaints. To imbibe my words, one has to meditate on the consciousness in solitude. When consciousness is purified, it recedes to the unmanifest state, and there is everlasting peace. You have been enchanted with consciousness, and you have identified with your body. It is very difficult to break this habit. After listening to this, you may live your life as you please. There is no need for rituals. There is no separation between us. I see you as formless, whereas you take yourself as a body. Out of the nirguna, many characteristics, manifest forms are created. This must be understood while the consciousness, sattva guna, in the body is still there. Otherwise, it will take birth time and again. Worship it with love devotion. It will be purified. It will clearly understand the functioning of the 3 gunas. You will come to see that you are a non-doer, and there will be eternal peace. The manifestation of your consciousness is called birth. It is also called the subtle body. Despite intense effort, the habit of body consciousness does not break. It is possible for the one who holds on to the Guru word without fail. By reciting the mantra, I am pure Brahman, you will become limitless. There must be unshakable faith in the Guru. His words will become one with your breath. It will become the joy of your feeling I am. It will correct the subtle body. One who has no body has neither remembrance nor forgetting. Hold within. The Guru word is my true nature with every breath. The fact that our nature is nirguna has never been forgotten. Therefore it does not have to be remembered. The devotee of the Guru word is the devotee of his own true nature. The self exists, and it is changeless. Do not attempt to change it with your intellect. With devotion of the Guru in your heart, you will never have any sense of duality. The supreme state as described by the Guru is naturally there. No remedy is required. For bringing worthiness into your consciousness, your faith in the Guru must be absolute. It is the treasure house of the life force. Brahman is the Lord of words, and it contains the universe. A great miracle is hidden in the seed. What a big tree comes out of it. The guna was latent in the nirguna. Whatever was hidden in the golden womb came out, and with that the world became visible. You will never get self-knowledge if you impose your body consciousness on the Guru. When you live with the faith that your consciousness and the Guru are the same, you will get self-realization. Such a vast world is contained in the microscopic consciousness. Such conviction comes with the Guru word. Reading countless books is of no use. It will bring pride, and with that the desire to undermine others. All troubles will be over if you yourself become the Guru word. Do not ever forget the Guru word. Brahman is eternal. Consciousness will expand, and in the end it will become extinguished. I am beyond the body will become manifest without words. It would not have to be looked after. It is easy, straight, and natural. The habit of body consciousness is the only hindrance. In order to be convinced that you were never born, it should be known what is born and from what it is born. Just as there is a tree in a seed, the universal consciousness is latent within you. The Guru brings it out, and it becomes all-pervading. Has anyone seen the end of space? Why is it so? It is because space is formed with the expanse of your own light. Make spiritual effort out of real and sincere necessity. His Majesty, the Guru, kills your individuality. The tree, along with its fruits, flowers, and branches, enters the seed again. The Guru has said that you are present everywhere. You must believe this in its totality. Self-realization is liberation. Then there is no need to go to heaven. You are what the Guru has described. Do not bother with anything else. Spiritual truth has no concern with the body. It does not matter whether you are a man or a woman. Remember this. Nirupana 43, Thursday, July 13th, 1978. Mind is a kind of fever that has come upon you unknowingly. Whatever you do brings on suffering. You carry out all your actions to put up with the mind. When the body form comes into existence, I amness is sensed. Mind is created out of that feeling of beingness. There is rest in deep sleep. After waking up, you run around doing things that you expect will do you good. Why so? It is an attempt to put up with the fever called mind. There are several names given to the mind: Brahman, prana, life force, etc. So long as there is no mind, how were you? Before mind came into existence, what was one like? One was perfect Brahman, beyond concept, beyond existence, beyond the three gunas. Para-Brahman is always known to all living beings. Until such time that the mind was not sensed, there was no need for anything. There was no knowledge of I am or I am not. When you understand that the worship of Brahman, etc., is a joke, fever in the form of the mind will vanish. Really speaking, you struggle for your good because you are confused about the basic delusion. Whatever is seen is not your true nature. That which was motionless stirred a little and created the dream world. It really means that you are the creator. The vision that has created the world is itself untrue. It seems many things were done in that dream, but really speaking, was anything done? Can anyone take credit whatsoever for the doership of this body form? You are living as a body, therefore you behave as one commanded by time. You do not know that time has been created out of you. The feeling I am awake is time. Who upholds this universe with its sun, moon, and stars? It is the same one who sees it. This is how Krishna says, I uphold the universe. Time is a season. The feeling I am awake is time. Then comes mind as the knowingness I am. It has occupied everything. But this is a temporary phase. Krishna says, I have observed this phase, and that is how I am the creator of the universe. Time is associated by its very nature with the three gunas, sattva, rajas, and tamas. Time rules over people through their desires. Who carries out the action? That which is one is doing everything. It becomes many and moves about through desire as long as there is an experience of time. What is mind? Mind is the feeling I am awake. When the mind dissolves, it knows nothing. The names of deities are, after all names of the mind. This is the story of Paramatman, which you are. You are not letting go of your habit of body consciousness. Wakefulness is time. However, in time there is duality. Therefore you have to become your own proof of non-dual absolute. There you will meet no other. You know the mind. You are not the mind. Hopes, desires, passions are of the nature of time. Yet the person says, I act or I do. Is there any difference between an expectation and a passion? With rites and rituals you trade an iron carriage for a golden cage. Only after the arrival of the mind you require food, a home, a wife, etc. You call it desire. Yet it is of the nature of time. Recognize the fever of the mind. The mind is also called Brahman, manifest reality. That takes millions of births every day. All activities in the world are a result of the nature of time. To say one is a great person, etc., is of the nature of time. Time is the foundation of the whole universe. However, you are beyond time, unmanifest. Yet body consciousness does not go. You do not have to let anything go. You have to understand it. There is tremendous light luster in the body. The light that comes out of your eyes pervades the sun and the moon. This dazzling, fierce light is absorbed by the Absolute. It swallows millions of suns. The dense, dark blue Absolute, seen when your eyes are closed, is so vast that innumerable worlds play in it like pebbles. When one hears this, he should say, "Oh, is it really so?" Are you going to know this after you die? This world is so vast, and yet the seer is smaller than an atom. For understanding this, worship that with which you are listening to all this. What did you know before consciousness came over you? The more you reduce your hopes and desires, the happier you will be. The guna means the consciousness that has suddenly come over you. An infinite number of universes are sporting in consciousness. Who is the knower of this? Who is prior to consciousness? Is it the seer, or that which is seen? If there is no seer, can there be the seen? By the grace of the Guru, the idea that time is my great death goes away. When prana leaves the body, do not say, "I am dying," otherwise you will have to take a new form again. Bausaheb Maharaj, Maharaj's Guru's Guru, clapped when his prana left the body. Did he not mean to say that I am Atman, I am indestructible? Liberation is attainable while the body is there. Can animals achieve it? When does another birth take place? After one dream, a second dream may immediately follow if it has to come. Remember that the one who is not afraid of death lives for many years.